Are we going to talk about how I made? Actually, I don't even know how much I made today. 280 times 3, so how I made $800 more on the 50k expresses. The all 350ks right now are on 1.8k balance, and the combines are on 51.5. So one more day to pass them, hopefully, and then I'll have 5 expresses, and now we'll be copy trading 5 accounts instead. But I'm gonna talk about the trade that I took 1st of May, which is Thursday, and kind of what was my bias going into the day, right? So if I go quickly on a 1 hour time frame, it's very easy for me to say we're bullish off of these gaps, right? But for me to be bullish, I very much like very much would like to see us retrace into this. This is also Thursday before the NFP, so I know that if we're gonna get the best longs, it's probably going to be closer to NFP, right? So I'm not really willing to bet on the fact that we're going to have a really big expansion, right? I zoom into the chart as well. Now, on a 15 minute, and I see this. Since midnight open, we've pretty much only been going up. We've filled every gap. We filled this gap, went up. We filled this gap, went up. We filled this gap, went up. When we then take out these highs, right, we start consolidating, sweep the highs, and displace through this gap. Now, why do I even care about this gap? Because it was previously respected to bring us higher. And if this is now disrespected, it gives me the likelihood that at a very minimum, this low is going to be taken. Because this is the latest or earliest low from the low to the high of this range. However, ultimately, I do want to see the London low draw. If you watched my yesterday's video, you already know, again, I preached it in the last video, that every move pretty much will always have one move towards the internal draws, and then it'll have a retracement, and then it'll have the move down towards the actual draws, right? So in this case, if I'm targeting this low as kind of my main draw and targeting London lows as just the strong magnet that price is heading towards, this becomes my internal low. So when this gets swept, this low gets edged, and we get a retracement into this 15-minute buy side imbalance, a sell side imbalance. After this 15-minute buy side imbalance has been ran through, shifting order flow lower, after the highs was rejected, and we had a nice displacement, right? We had everything here. We have a breaker block if you want to use that. We have a change in the state. We have an inversion. We have market structure shift. You have everything you want to have, right? You have everything you want to have. So going into 9:30, despite the fact that I did have a bullish bias, I expected us to go down towards the London low before potentially flipping higher to the upside. Hoping, really, it wasn't like I wasn't even trying to bet on it, but I was just hoping that this gap would be left for tomorrow. And yeah, it kind of did. But we'll go over what I took on Friday as well in another video, actually. So what I do here is, again, my trade is based off of what? It's based off of a 9 or 15-minute candle, right? A 15-minute sell side imbalance. So I zoom in here and I say, okay, this is my draw, right? This low right here is my main draw. Yes, London lows is probably going to hit with the same idea. We have the perfect idea. We have the first displacement, nice retracement, and then this move right here should already deliver to the London lows. It's perfect. So what I ended up seeing here is 9:30 opened just about here on this candle. And I know in these situations, right, I'm either just going to be completely wrong or I'm going to be completely right. And what happens on this 9:30 candle is we pump all the way back up into this 1 minute sell side imbalance, right? After we just swept these highs and had a very nice displacement, inversing all of this bullish price action to the downside, right? Which in reality is already enough for me to take a short. This is already enough for me to take a short. But because it is 2 minutes before 9:30, I prefer not to, because I know I could get wicked out like this. So what happened here is we wick up on 9:30, we create an SMT with ES on these highs, the 1 minute gap is respected, and we close bearish. And when that happened, I entered. I entered a little bit late, I'm gonna be honest. I entered right here. Boom. Left at 921.25. So essentially, it looked something like this. This was my trade. A quick 1-to-1 to these draws right here. If I held towards London draw, it could have been an additional, well, quite a lot of RR, but I'm not really too greedy on that. And I also got a little bit of a worse entry that kind of fucked my stop loss, but the stop loss is still not inhumane to a point, because this candle opened, went up and started going down, and I entered as it was going down. So I was pretty confident we're not going to reach back up there, really. We're just going to kind of plummet to the ground. Had I taken this entry and had the proper stop loss, I would have felt much more confident holding to the London draws, but obviously I didn't. And again, I'm very happy with my 1-to-1s, especially in kind of scenarios where I get a little bit of a worse entry, you know, where my entry isn't perfect, my stop loss isn't perfect. I prefer to get out at the 1-to-1 instead of letting it hit this low, potentially seeing us move all the way back up and hitting this gap and stopping me out because my stop loss was a little bit skewed, and then going to London lows. Again, I think the idea is perfect, but I don't know how big this retracement will be before we eventually head down towards the London lows. So I said, okay, messed up entry, messed up stop loss. I'm just going to call it a day at the 1-to-1, the easy draw. If we go to London lows, so be it. And yeah, I'm pretty happy with my choice. Again, had I had the better entry, probably maybe would have played it a little bit better and different. But this is still fucking great. And here, if we go into the performance stats, you will see kind of the proof. Well, you already saw the execution, but here it is, $290, and that was across 3 accounts. Well, some of them made more, some of them made less, but the point is, you know, that's what we did. One trade, nothing else, nothing crazy. Done. That's how you do it.